Cold versus warm climate agriculture. Cold climate and warm climate agriculture have been practiced differently for thousands of years, with each requiring distinct approaches and techniques due to the environmental conditions of their respective regions. In Europe and South Asia, where agriculture has played a central role in the development of civilizations, the differences between cold and warm climate agriculture are particularly pronounced. Cold climate agriculture, which is practiced in regions with long, harsh winters, such as Europe, North America, and parts of Asia, requires a greater degree of complexity and delay of gratification than warm climate agriculture. This is because the growing season in cold climates is shorter, and the risk of crop failure due to frost, drought, or other environmental factors is higher. Therefore, farmers in these regions have developed sophisticated techniques to ensure a successful harvest. In Europe, for example, farmers have traditionally practiced crop rotation, which involves planting different crops in a particular sequence to preserve soil fertility and prevent disease. They also use techniques such as fallowing, which involves leaving a field uncultivated for a period of time to allow it to recover its nutrients. These techniques require a long-term approach to agriculture, as they often involve sacrificing immediate gains for future benefits. In contrast, warm climate agriculture, which is practiced in regions with long, hot summers and abundant rainfall, such as South Asia, requires a different set of techniques. In these regions, the growing season is longer, and the risk of crop failure due to environmental factors is lower. Therefore, farmers can often grow crops year-round and rely less on complex techniques like crop rotation. However, warm climate agriculture also requires its own set of challenges. In regions with high temperatures and rainfall, pests and diseases can be a major problem. Farmers must constantly monitor their crops and use a variety of techniques, such as intercropping and crop diversification, to prevent infestations and disease outbreaks. Overall, the differences between cold and warm climate agriculture are significant, and each requires distinct approaches and techniques. Cold climate agriculture requires a greater degree of complexity and a long-term approach, with a focus on delay of gratification and sustainability, while warm climate agriculture requires a more constant vigilance against pests and diseases, and a focus on diversification and intercropping. The Stanford Marshmallow Experiment. The Stanford Marshmallow Experiment is a well-known psychological study that provides interesting insights into the differences between warm and cold climate people. The experiment was conducted in the late 1960s by a team of researchers at Stanford University led by psychologist Walter Mischel. The experiment involved a group of preschool children who were given a marshmallow and told that they could either eat it immediately or wait for a short period and be rewarded with a second marshmallow. The researchers left the children alone in a room with a marshmallow and observed their behavior through a one-way mirror. The results of the experiment were surprising. Some children were able to resist the temptation and wait for the second marshmallow, while others gave in and ate the first marshmallow right away. The researchers found that those who were able to delay gratification and wait for the second marshmallow tended to be more successful later in life. Interestingly, the researchers also found that the ability to delay gratification was linked to climate. Specifically, children from colder climates, such as Scandinavia and other northern European countries, were more likely to wait for the second marshmallow than those from warmer climates, such as Brazil and other equatorial regions. This difference in behavior can be explained by the environmental conditions in which people from different climates have evolved. In colder climates, resources are scarce and unpredictable, and it is often necessary to delay gratification and save resources for later. In contrast, in warmer climates, resources are more abundant and predictable, and there is less need to delay gratification. The Stanford Marshmallow Experiment thus provides a fascinating insight into the differences between warm and cold climate people, and how these differences are shaped by the environment in which they live. It also highlights the importance of self-control and delayed gratification in achieving long-term success and happiness. These facts indicate that warm versus cold climate people have different orientations when evaluating investments, being that cold climate people are more likely to prioritize longer-term endeavors whereas warm climate people are less likely to do so. Since education, infrastructure, and general human development all require a long-term vision to prosper in Warm climate people have lagged behind in these areas, and the compounding and cumulative effect is creating a disastrous, unsustainable and degraded environment for citizens of most warm climate countries. These problems can be solved by accepting the difference in natural psychology of cold versus warm climate people and ensure that warm climate people are enforced to make long-term investments for their own benefit, because on their own, this would not happen.